My whole life, have kind of been up and down with my weight. I had gestational diabetes with two of my daughters, kind of in my late 30s or early 40s. I was just diagnosed pre-diabetic, had thyroid issues since I was 28, had heartburn my entire life, tried to eat healthy, tried to cut out things, tried to do the diabetes diet, low fat, low carbs kind of thing. And the only thing that really kept my weight off is if I was running 3 miles a day. And if I stopped my activity, I would put the weight right back on. My MD started me on Prilosec, which I knew has long-term side effects for your body. Kind of had all these things swirling in my head. I don't like being on medications. Went on a 2-year deep dive mental health journey, got really good coping mechanisms and dealt with a lot of trauma and stress from my past. And I thought, okay, it is time to deal with my inner body stuff because I know there's more I can do with my food to help the inside of my body heal. I met Jen Flynn at church and she shared her journey. I was just really inspired by that and I thought, okay, this is a good place to start. I felt, from what Jen shared, Dr. Greg was very educated. And then of course, when I met him, I learned, how extensively he has studied this field. So from that initial consult, I was like, okay, this is the place I need to go to get to my next level of health that I want to have. And we've got our first grandbaby is on the way. So I knew I wanted to be an active grandma, a healthy grandma. I want to be a great grandma. So it's I have all these goals in my life and I knew being healthy from the inside out was the best way, that I could achieve the goals that I wanted and the activity levels that I wanted. I made that initial consultation appointment, was very impressed with Dr. Greg and his knowledge and just his capacity to listen to every part of my journey, affirmed my emotions and that what I had gone through with my mental health journey and getting to this point was really awesome. If you don't have a mental health counselor on your team before you start a journey like this, and that might not be for everybody, but it had my mindset in a place where I could just develop mantras, be healthy and strong in the way I thought about this whole journey and not want to cheat, not want to give up because I had done all that pre-work getting ready for that. And I really had a very clear why. I wanted to be 100% healthy as I could be because I have this grandbaby coming. And everybody has different whys, but I think that's something you really want to think about. And you guys have such a great package. It is the mind, the body, the spirit, and that's how I live my life. So I also was very impressed with that. Whatever your faith is, whatever your higher being is, they're part of this journey as well. And you need that piece as well to keep going because there's times it's really difficult. And you guys do a great job of piecing it out, giving us what we can handle. If we need to take a break or stop, which I didn't do, I'm doing this, I'm just gonna go. But I know some people can't do it all at once. Your body's not gonna let you handle it all at once. So I felt that my coach, Loredana, did just a great job of, encouraging me along the way that you can do this. So when my labs came back, they're so extensive, it shocked me how intricate they are. Because as Dr. Greg explained in our consult, the MD does labs and there's these ranges. Functional medicine goes to that next micro level of piecing apart. One of the biggest kind of surprising things for me, sure, I have parasites because I grew up on a farm or, farmland. I'm sure there's something. And then I'm oh my gosh, I totally do. And so I look at all those markers and I'm all right, well, I'm not looking forward to that part, whatever we're gonna have to do, but that was on there. Another big thing for me were my inflammation markers. I think with labs, it's kind of like when you take a Kodak picture. It's that time stamp, right? Labs are the same way. It's that time stamp of what your body is doing. And I think it's important to consider that in the big picture, this is where we're starting. This is what we have to work with. That impressed me very much that I had 11 pages of labs to go over intricately to see with my thyroid, where it was within all those things. And my cholesterol's considered high because I have the diabetes and my glucose levels. Another great thing for me was the hormone panel because I'm postmenopausal. I did have, I believe it was the tincture phase. I actually did get some menstrual bleeding and addressed that with my coach, learned what I thought was like this crazy, amazing thing with functional medicine with Lyme and other, viruses in that same category. They go to the weakest parts of your body, and I have fibroids on my ovaries. And so that's kind of was brought out with that. So it's like, okay, this is working. This is getting everything in my body flushed out that shouldn't be there. And I loved how they did a 20-minute video explaining all of the labs, because you look at this as a layperson, you sort of get it, but getting that deep dive before you come in and do that next step is important, because then I could write down my questions and really get good information of what the journey is going to be like. So many. It's hard to just pick a few. One big encouragement that first 4 to 6 weeks, it seems daunting, especially if you've never done any sort of like a food plan in the past. It can seem really restrictive. I had my mantras written down. I think that's really important. A big one was the first, I feel like 10 days. Just by increasing my water intake, is a little over a gallon a day is what I needed to do for where my body was. I lost 8 pounds. I didn't change my food, didn't change my activity. Whatever you're drinking, it's not enough. And then after the first month, not cheating, I'm not going off the grid, I'm staying with the plan, I lost, I believe it was 15 pounds. And I thought I ate fairly healthy, but you also learn along the way how the sugars and the preservatives and all these things trap fat in your body. And that's like a lot of like the extra weight we're carrying. For me, that was like just a huge encouragement, like, okay, you can do this, keep going, it's worth it. And that first weekend, I was fighting it the whole time. And part of that is just you have that little bit of alcohol craving, you have that sugar craving that your body has in you. It just is a different mindset. So I just got my wine glass and I, poured my little sparkling water in it instead. I just kind of did different little tricks like that, which really helped me. A year later, I've lost 22 pounds. I've kept it off. I have never kept off the weight my entire life for a whole year. And that I'm tearing up right now just thinking, because I know the hard work it took to get to that point, and it is so worth it. That's the message I want to share with everybody else. It is worth it. You are worth it. It is a financial commitment. And let me tell you, we'll spend money on everything else. We'll spend money on stuff for our house, our clothes, our kids, our husbands, vacations. This is your body. This is your temple. This is the only one we get, and it is worth every penny you put into it. I just love that we have all those tools. And it's not about getting off the train and getting back on the train. It's we're just going with the train. We're gonna have setbacks, whatever. Who knows what next year's gonna bring, but I have all the tools. And if I totally fall off the bandwagon, guess what? I can make a call to Lord Anna, and whatever we need to do, we can do. All of the coaching sessions, all of the supplements, it's worth that financial commitment. You are worth it. So you just have to do it.